Hello students and welcome to the next lesson on Python 0 to Hero series. So in our previous video, we talked about type conversion, that is converting data from one type to another. And in this video, we are going to have a look on a variety of operators that are available in Python. If you remember, in our initial video, we had taken data as an input from the user and we applied plus operation, that is, we added those two numbers and printed the result. So that was just one example. And now we are going to have a look on a variety of operators which you can apply on the data you take input from the user. So let's get started. Open your Colab notebooks and start coding with me. Python provides us a variety of operators like arithmetic, assignment, comparison, logical, membership, and bitwise. We are going to have a look on every category with the help of few examples. So let's get started. First category, arithmetic operators. This you have been using since your school days. You know what is plus, minus, multiply, divide, exponent, etc. It's just that now we are going to use them in Python. You need two pieces of data or multiple pieces of data. Apply these operators between them and Python will return you back the result. So let's see how. So suppose I have taken two numbers, x is 15, y is 10. Right now, being the programmer, I'm just assigning the values of 15 and 10 to x and y. You can also take these values as input from the user just by writing x equals int input, enter the first number, enter the second number. Why int input? Because you need, by default, the input is in string. You will typecast it into an integer. If you are not able to recall this, I will suggest go back to the previous video and watch it. So if I write x plus y, it will return me the sum of these two numbers, that is 25. Similarly, it will apply minus. For multiplication, we have a star operator. So x multiplied by y, that is 150. Now division is in two types. If you use a single slash, it returns you a float value, that is a number with a decimal. If you use two slash, it returns you the integer division, that is only 1. That's why it is also known as integer division or floor. Floor means the bottom value. So for any decimal value like 1.5, 1 is the floor value, 2 is the ceiling value. So that's why it is known as float division. See, right? What does modulus operator do? It returns you the remainder. That is, when you divide 15 by 10, what will be the remainder? So 10 ones are 10, 5 is the remainder. And if you want exponent, so usually in many languages we have this as the exponent operator. Here we have 2 times asterisk as the exponent operator. So it will return you 15 raised to power 10. So all these are arithmetic operators. Next category is assignment. What do we mean by assignment? That is, we are assigning some value. So if I write x equals 10, so that means I am assigning value 10 to x. Now there are some advancements or some modifications in these assignment operators. That is, you will apply one operation and then assign the value in the same variable. For example, if I want to write x equals x plus 5. So that means to the original value of x, you want to add 5. So original value of x is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. So now x should be 15. That is, you are adding 5 to the variable x and you are storing the result in the same variable. So instead of writing this, you can straight away write x plus equals 5. This is another way of writing this statement. So if I print x after this, and let me remove this for now. So it will return us 50. Instead of this, if I write this, then also it returns 50. So similarly, you can apply all the other like plus, minus, multiply, divide. So they are equivalent to these expressions. So these are just a variation of assignment operators. That's perfect. So let's talk about the next category, that is comparison operators. Comparison operators compare two values, that is two pieces of data, and they return the result as a Boolean value. You remember in our lesson on data types, we were talking about like what is Boolean value? Where are we going to use these Boolean values? This is the best example. That is, whenever you apply comparison operator, they just return you either true or false. Let's see how. So suppose I take two numbers, x is 15, y is 30, and I write print x is equals to y. So we are checking, is x equals to y? So it will either return true or false. So right now x is not equals to y. So it will return false. If I write x is not equals to x is not equals to y. So yeah, x is not equals to y. So it is true. Is x less than y? True. Is x greater than y? False. Similarly, you can use less than equals and greater than equals as well. Then the next category is the logical operators, where we can combine various conditional statements. For example, I write x is 5 and I write print is x less than 3, is x greater than 3 and x less than 10. So it will apply this AND operator, applies an operation between two comparison operators. So there are three logical operators, AND, OR and NOT. AND returns true if both of the statements are true. So that means if any one of them is false, AND will return false. While OR, it returns true if any one of the true, either X or either Y, or either first condition or second condition. NOT operator just returns us the opposite of the existing condition. So if I write is x greater than 3, true, and is x less than 10, true. So this should return us true, right? And if I write is x less than 3 or so if and suppose so if x is less than 3 or x is less than 10, any of the one conditions is true, it should return true. So if I run this, it should return true. Why? Because x is greater than 10. So this condition was true and this was false. Similarly, if I write print not of x less than 3. So that means first it will compare, is x less than 3? No, that is false. So it will return not of false, that is true. So this is what is logical operators. Then the next category is membership operators, where we check the membership, that whether the first item is the member of the second item. For example, I took an example, X is a string which contains children who wrote. Why it is a string? Just to recall, because it is in the double quotes, that means it's a string type. Print Z in X, that is Z in X? No, there is no Z character in X, so it should return false. If I write capital C, it will return true. If I write small c, it will return false. So this is just checking the membership. And if you want to check the reverse membership, that is, you want to return true if the value is not there, then you should use not. C not in X? Yeah, C is not there in X. Right? Perfect. Now let's talk about the last category, that is bitwise operators. These operators are applied on the binary numbers. That is, whatever data you have, that first gets converted into binary version, and then these operators are applied on the individual bits of those binary numbers. So there are various bitwise operators like AND, OR, XOR, NOT, right shift and left shift. And just to point out, students many times get confused that there is a difference between bitwise AND, OR and NOT and the logical AND, OR and NOT. Logical AND, OR and NOT look like these. They are the words AND, AND, OR, NOT, NOT. And they are applied on two conditions. That is, you have two or three conditions, two or three Boolean values, and these AND, OR and NOT just provides a combination of their results. While The bitwise and or and not look like these symbols and or and not, and they are applied on the individual bits of the binary numbers. Where are these bitwise operators used? They are used in encryption, decryption, reading the images, applying some operations on the images. Wherever you deal with the binary data, these operations come into picture. Now how do these work? For example, I take two numbers, 5, whose binary version is 101, 7, whose binary version is 111. Now, whatever bitwise operator I talked about, they will be applied on these individual bits. One operator on 1 and 1, one operator on 0 and 1, and a third operator on this. And what are these operators? If I talk about AND gives you 1 if both the input x and y are 1. Rest, it remains 0. While in the case of OR, if any one of them is 1 or both of the bits are 1, it returns 1 and 0. In the case of XOR, if both the bits are same, that is both are 0 or both are 1, it gives us 0. While if they are different, it gives us 1. While the NOT just works on one operand. That is, if x is 0, it returns 1. If x is 1, it returns 0. And what happens in the case of shifting operators? Suppose we have any binary data like this. So if we want to shift towards right, so let me present it in the form of boxes. So you have the bits like these. So in the case of left shift, all the bits are shifted one step towards left. So this bit comes here, this comes here, this, and this. This one moves out, and if this got vacant, this will be filled by 0. So after shifting, the result would be 0, 1, 1, 0, 1 and 0. Similarly, if I talk about right shift, suppose I have the data 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. 1 moves out, so 1 is damaged now. 0 comes here, 1 comes here, 0 comes here, 1 comes here, and this is vacant now, so 0 is filled here. So the number becomes 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. And if you apply any operators on two numbers like 5 and 7, if we apply AND, so 1 and 1, 1, 0 and 1, 0, 1 and 1, 1, which is again 5. So 5 and 7 is 5. Similarly, the OR and XOR will work. So let's code them in our collab notebooks. So if you will see, apply 5 and 7, it returns us 5. In other ways, you can apply various other operators, like if I apply straight, that is OR, so 5 or 7. So it will return us 7. Let's have a look if it is actually returning us 7. So see, let me choose a different color. So 1 and 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1, 1 and 1, 1. This is the OR. So we got 7. So if you are not comfortable with these conversions, that is how 5 is being represented as 101 or how 7 is represented as 111, or the vice versa, that is you are not comfortable with decimal to binary conversion and binary to decimal, do drop a comment. I will create a separate video explaining these in detail. Now let's talk about the last conclusion of all these operators, that is operator precedence. That means if you have a series of operators in one single expression, which operator will work first? So there is a priority given to every operator. First of all, the brackets, that is parentheses, then exponents, then the unary operators, that means which do not have two operands and they are being applied on the single operand. Then multiplication, division, float division, modulus, then addition, subtraction, then bitwise operators, first shifting, then AND, XOR and OR, then all these comparison and the membership operators, followed by the last logical operators, that is not and or, because they just combine everything and give you the concluded result. So that was all about operators. We saw a variety of operators, and as usual, I would suggest you practice as much as you can. I would be sharing this Google Colab link with you. Just download, save a copy in your drive, and try taking various inputs from the user and apply various operators on them. See the results, and if you have any doubts, you can drop a query in our Discord group. The Discord server link is also there in the video description. We will also be having a live Q&A session very soon. So, see you in the next video. Till then, keep practicing. Happy coding.